Good evening to all. This is the PIDT class. We can read about PIDT. PIDT means problem, identify, and design thinking. So in this class, we can know about how many stages or processes are there to design or thinking any problem. So this is the means we can solve any problem by डिजाइनिंग और थिंकिंग. सोचना है, सोच के हमारा जो भी प्रॉब्लम है उसको सॉल्व करना है. सो दिस द PIDT, प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई एंड डिजाइन थिंकिंग. सो इसके लिए हम बहुत सारा चीज़ को सोचना पड़ेगा. सोचने के बाद हमारे पास कुछ आइडिया आएगा और क्रिएट होगा, उसको हम प्रोटोटाइप में बदलेंगे और टेस्ट करेंगे. उसके बाद हमारा जो भी प्रॉब्लम है सॉल्व होगा. व्हाट इज डिजाइन thinking and why it is so popular, design thinking. So ये किस लिए पॉपुलर है हम जानेंगे इस सब्जेक्ट में. डिजाइन थिंकिंग बिलीव्स दैट द पीपल हु फेस प्रॉब्लम्स आर द ones who hold the key to their problems answer. मीन्स जिसके पास वो प्रॉब्लम है उसको ही पता है वो उसका कैसे सॉल्यूशन हुआ है, उसका आंसर कैसा है, जो भी प्रॉब्लम फेस किया है. सो इसके लिए जो भी प्रॉब्लम आता है उसका सॉल्यूशन ढूंढना पड़ता है. सो प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई. डिजाइन थिंकिंग इज ह्यूमन सेंटर्ड प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग टूल which emphasize on empathy, collaboration, co-creation, and stakeholder feedback to unlock creativity and innovation, which devices feasible and viable big idea solutions. So इसमें हमें क्या करना है, एम्पैथी क्या है, कोलैबोरेशन, को क्रिएशन, स्टेक होल्डर फीडबैक, ये सब लेके हमारा डिजाइन को आगे बढ़ाना है और जो भी प्रॉब्लम है उसको सॉल्व करना है. द की टू द प्रोसेस इज एम्फसाइजिंग विथ द यूजर्स टू अनकवर अनमेट नीड्स by understanding their beliefs, values, motivations, behaviors, pains, gains, and challenges, and to provide innovation. So ये सब करने के बाद हमारा जो भी है प्रॉब्लम का कुछ तो आइडिया आएगा. डिजाइन थिंकिंग phases, there are some phases are there. On that phases we can solve our problem. So डिजाइन थिंकिंग प्रोसेस इन यूज टूडे नाउडेज जो भी प्रोसेस चल रहा है, they have from 3 to 7 phases are there, or stages or modes. However, all variants of design thinking are very similar. जो भी है design thinking phases, stages or modes, they are very similar. All variants of design thinking embody the same principles which were first described by Nobel Prize laureate Herbert Simon. So in this case, design thinking phases, there are many variants of design thinking phases are there. So there are look like similar, like emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and testing. So in this case, we can solve our problem or design or thinking by these steps. So in step 1, emphasize. It is with users. What users behave, this that is the emphasize. Define. Your users needs the problem and your insights. Ideate. Use challenging assumptions and creating idea for innovation solutions. Prototype. To start creating solutions. Test. Solutions what you have created, that can you test it. It is important to note that the first 5 phases, stages, modes are not always sequential. They do not have to follow all specific order and cannot often occur in parallel and repeat iteratively. Given that you should not understand the phases as a hierarchical or step-by-step process. Instead, you should look at it as an overview of the modes or phases that contribute to an innovative idea. सो इसके लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, सोचना पड़ेगा. बहुत सारा सोचने के बाद ही हमारा आइडिया कुछ आएगा, इसलिए डिजाइन थिंकिंग करना पड़ेगा. सो इसमें एम्फसाइज क्या है, एम्फसाइज में क्या बिहेवियर है प्रॉब्लम का, उसको देखना पड़ेगा. So the first stage of design thinking process is to gain a emphatic understanding of the problem you are trying to solve. आपने जिसको भी प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करे उसका अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ेगा, क्या है प्रॉब्लम, उसका बिहेवियर कैसा है, कैसा होता है. सो ये प्रॉब्लम पहले देखना पड़ेगा. द दिस इन्वॉल्व्स कंसल्टिंग एक्सपर्ट्स टू फाइंड आउट मोर अबाउट द एरिया ऑफ कंसर्न थ्रू ऑब्जर्विंग, engaging, empathizing with people to understand their experiences and motivations, as well as immersing yourself in the physical environment so you can gain a deeper personal understanding of the issues involved. So empathical is crucial to human-centered design process such as design thinking. The empathy allows design thinkers to set aside all assumptions about the world in order to gain insight into user and their needs. इसमें हमें सोचना पड़ेगा और कुछ एजम्पशन देना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद ही हमारा कुछ आइडिया आएगा जो कि हम सॉल्व कर पाएंगे. डिफाइन, we can define the problem. It's a proper point of the problem. During the define stage, you are put together the information you have created and gathered during the empathize stage. This is where you will analyze your observations and synthesize them in order to define the core problems that you and your team have identified up to this point. You should seek to define the problem as a problem statement in a human centered manner. जो भी है तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम इसमें ह्यूमन सेंटर्ड मैनर में होना चाहिए. सो द डिफाइन स्टेज विल हेल्प द डिजाइनर्स इन योर टीम get the great ideas to establish features, functions, and any other element that will allow them to solve problem. At the very least, allow users to resolve issues themselves with the minimum of difficulty. सो कम डिफिकल्टी में हमारा प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व होना चाहिए. इन द डिफाइन स्टेज you will start to progress to the third stage, ideate, by asking questions which can help you look for ideas for solutions. By asking how might we encourage teenage girls to perform an action that benefits them and also involves your company's feedback also. Ideate. So in this ideate, we could just create some new idea to solve a problem. So during the third stage of design thinking process, designers are ready to start generating idea. So जो भी डिजाइनर है वो क्या करेगा, डिजाइन करेगा न्यू आइडिया. You have grown to understand your users and their needs in the empathy stage, and you have analyzed and synthesized your observations in the defense stage. With this solid background, you and your team members can start think outside the box to identify new solutions to the problem statement you have created, and you can start to look for alternative ways of the viewing the problem. There are hundreds of ideation techniques such as brainstorm, brainwrite, worst possible idea, and scamper. So this is the first stage. There is a prototype. In this prototype, you just create some drawing or some images that can solve your problem. The design team will now produce a number of inexpensive scaled down versions of the product, specific features found within the product, so they can investigate the problem solutions generated in the previous stage. Prototypes may be shared and tested within the team itself, in other departments, or on a small group of people outside the design team. This is an experimental phase. So in this phase, you can experiment it. What is the results you got? The solutions are implemented within the prototype, and one by one they are investigated. What you have got, you have tested it one by one, then you got some result or accepted improve some idea. After that you can some get the final result. Test, after prototype you just test it the idea. Designers to evaluators rigorously test the complete product using the best solutions identified during the prototyping phase. This is the final stage of the five-stage model, but in an iterative processes, the results generated during the testing phase are often used to redefine one or more problems and inform the understanding of the users. The condition of use, how people think, behave, and feel to empathize. Even during this phase, alterations and refinements are made in order to rule out problem solutions, derive deep understanding product and its user as possible. So in this case, you just refine your idea also. That takeaway. In sense, the design thinking process is iterative, flexible, and focused on collaboration between designers and users, with an emphasis on bringing ideas to life based on how real users think, feel, and behave. Design thinking tackles complex problems by emphasizing understanding the human needs involved. Defining the problem in human-centered ways. Ideating, creating many ideas in ideation sections. Prototype. Adopting a hands-on approach in prototype. Testing. Developing a testable prototype solution to the problem. So in these steps, you can solve your problem one by one. So you can also refer some sites, course design thinkings, so that can benefit or guide your design thinking process and solve any problem. So thank you all for